The greatest battles we face are not around us, but within us. They come quietly, without warning, in the stillness of our thoughts, in the pauses between our prayers, in the voices that question our worth, our ability, and our calling. Yet, in those moments, God gently reminds us of a powerful truth. This is a story drawn from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. NKJV. In a small riverside town, where the water moved slowly and the days felt predictable, lived a young woman named Amara. Her life appeared ordinary to anyone watching from the outside. She woke early each morning, helped her mother with household chores, attended church faithfully every Sunday, and spent quiet evenings by her window listening to the distant hum of the river. But deep within her heart burned an extraordinary dream. Amara longed to write a book, not for fame or money, but to inspire her community. She wanted to tell stories of hope, faith, perseverance, and God's grace. Stories that would remind people that their lives mattered, even when circumstances said otherwise. When she finally found the courage to share her dream, the response was crushing. Writing doesn't pay bills, someone said. Dream smaller, another advised. Be realistic. Who will even read your book? Even those closest to her shook their heads with concern rather than encouragement. And slowly, those voices grew louder than her own faith. Night after night, Amara sat before her aging laptop, the screen glowing softly in the dark. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, but the words refused to come. Every unfinished sentence felt like proof that the doubters were right. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe this dream was foolish. Maybe God never meant this for me. Eventually, exhaustion and disappointment overwhelmed her. One night, she closed her laptop, rested her head on the table, and whispered through quiet tears, "Maybe I can't do this after all." Days turned into weeks. The laptop remained untouched. Her dream felt distant, almost embarrassing to remember. Though she still attended church, her heart felt heavy, burdened by self-doubt she couldn't shake. Then one Sunday, everything changed. That morning, Amara almost stayed home, but something urged her to go. As she sat in the familiar wooden pew, the pastor began his sermon, reading from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The words felt different this time, as though they were spoken directly to her heart. The pastor explained that the verse wasn't about human strength or personal ability. It was about divine empowerment, about trusting God beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond inadequacy. In that moment, Amara realized something she had forgotten. Her strength was never meant to come from herself alone. Her dream wasn't a mistake. It was a seed planted in her heart by God. Tears streamed down. Her face's peace replaced the heaviness she had carried for so long. The next morning, Amara made a decision. She woke before sunrise. She prayed before she wrote. And when doubt returned, as it often did, she leaned on God's strength instead of her own. Some days, she wrote only a paragraph. Other days, just a sentence. But she remained faithful. Day by day, page by page, the words began to flow. She wrote about broken people discovering hope, about ordinary lives transformed by faith, about trusting God when the path ahead made no sense. Months later, Amara typed the final sentence of her manuscript. She sat back, overwhelmed with gratitude. What once felt impossible now rested before her, complete. When her book was finally published, she expected silence. Instead, messages began to arrive. A young woman wrote to say the book saved her from giving up. An elderly man said it restored his faith during a season of loss. A mother said it reminded her that God was still working in her life. Amara realized something powerful. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies those who trust Him. The doubts hadn't disappeared. The fear hadn't vanished completely, but neither had God's strength. And that made all the difference. If you're watching this and feeling unqualified, discouraged, or afraid, remember this truth. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And through Christ, you are stronger than you think. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next uplifting story from Winning Verses.